This incident happened when a man was working on his laptop sitting inside his villa in Bangkok. When he hears a loud sound of an accident outside his home, he was unaware about the fact that his luxurious lifestyle is now going to come to an end. When he left his laptop open and rushed towards the accident location, he saw that a lady has crashed into his gate with a Toyota Camry. But to tell you, it was not one nor two, it was seven countries' police who were waiting for this day from several years. This incident took place on 5th July 2017 in the early morning. And this person about whom we are talking is not an ordinary person. He was a multimillionaire who lived like a king. He owned several luxurious cars like Porsche, Lamborghini, and BMW. He worked like a software engineer to the world, but in reality, he was the king of dark web. He was hiding his real identity from the world since several years, but he lost everything just because of one small mistake. He lost his properties, cash, cars, and he lost his life too. Which was that small mistake which led to his death, and how did the seven countries police collaborate to find the world's most deadliest hacker of the dark web? I welcome you all to yet another video on my channel. If you are new to the channel, please make sure you like, subscribe and tap the notification icon for more such videos. It was in the year 2010 when the dark web started growing commercially. Dark web is that hidden territory of the internet where all the illegal jobs are done. From trading drugs and weapons to contract killing, all sorts of illegal jobs are done on the dark web. The kind of illegal activities that are done on the dark web are simply immoral and disturbing. This is a special reason why the illegal activities are done through the dark web. The illegal activists want to hide their identity to the entire world so that they remain out of the reach of the police and the law enforcements. The only way they can hide their identities is through the use of dark web. It seemed useful up to some extent. We use the Google Chrome browser to browse internet regularly. In the same way, to browse the dark web, there are special browsers that have been designed. These browsers are specially designed to hide the identity of the illegal activists through multiple servers. One such example is Tor browser. The dark web was not commercialized before the year 2010. After the invention of cryptocurrencies, the problem of funding the illegal activities also got sorted out because tracking the identities of the cryptocurrency transactions are impossible to the authorities. The problem faced by all illegal activists was resolved. The problem of hiding the identities was also resolved. The facility of transacting the funds was also created through cryptocurrencies. The only thing that was missing was a platform where all these illegal activities can be hosted on the dark website. Silk Road was the first dark website which became successful for hosting a platform for illegal activities. It started in the year February 2011 and it got more than 1 lakh people who were using this platform. But after 2.5 years, the owner of Silk Road was arrested and imprisoned. But since there was a demand for these websites, a lot of other websites started evolving and hosting their illegal business on the dark web. Silk Road 2.0 was one of the dark websites on which customers paid in bitcoins and purchased their services, for which Silk Road 2.0 kept a small commission and the rest amount was paid to the seller. Since it was all an illegal business, some websites used to charge money from its customers without exchanging the goods and services. And that is how the exit scams started on the dark web. Since these activities were hosted on the dark web, tracing them was impossible. As a result, drug dealers had to switch from that website to some other website. There were a lot of fraudulent scams that happened in the early days of dark web. Exit scams, arrest of the platform owners, and hacking were one of the frequent activities. There was a need of a trustable platform on the dark web, and this was the time in 2014 when Alpha Bay was launched on the dark web. The name and the location of the person who launched this website was unknown. He identified himself as Alpha 02. In the early days on Alpha Bay, there was only information about stolen credit cards available on the platform. Later, the platform also started dealing with other illegal activities like money laundering and drug selling. There were some illegal activities that were not permitted to be sold on Alpha Bay, like child abuse and stolen bank account details of the Russians. The reason being that the Alphabet did not want to mess with the Russian law enforcements. Or maybe they wanted to show the US law enforcements that they are running this business from Russia, where the US laws and regulations do not exist. The Alphabet started making its presence on the dark web since the first year of its operation. Within 1 year, more than 2 lakh customers and 40,000 sellers started making their business on this platform. There were more than 3 lakh items that were listed on the Alphabet by the end of 2017, and they were also making sales worth 5 lakh dollars every day. Alpha Zero 02, whose identity was unknown to the world, started earning 6 lakh USD per month and unknowingly became the undisputed king of the dark web. Alphabet was the biggest marketplace that was available on the dark web because it succeeded in building the trust between the buyers and sellers. This is when the police and law enforcement of several countries were trying to track down Alpha Zero 02. American investigators wanted to know the server location of Alphabet so that they can raid the data center and stop the platform. And if possible, that would also create a chance for the investigators to reach Alphabet. Normally, it is easy to identify the server location of any website because you don't access these websites on dark web. But since the dark websites can only be accessed through the Tor browser, the Tor browser hides the server location of the user behind multiple random servers. This is the reason it was impossible for the American investigators to reach the Alphabet. The American investigators started buying drugs on the Alphabet as a normal user with a hope that the drug dealers will do some mistake which will help the investigators to find their location. But with this approach, they will only be able to catch hold of the drug dealers, but their real intention was to catch hold of Alpha Zero 02. Alpha Zero 02 was taking all the necessary precautions that were required to make sure that he does not get arrested by the police and the law enforcement. He was aware that even a small mistake would lead the police to reach out to his location. In 2017, the police found a small clue to reach out to Alpha Zero 02's location. An officer of DA, that is Drug Law Enforcement Agency, his name was Robert Miller, was sitting in front of his laptop to track down the location of Alpha Zero 02. He received an email which had some content written about Alpha Zero 02, and the identity of the email sender was unknown. We all know the fact that whenever we register on any website, we receive a welcome mail from the domain. The same welcome mail was received by this unknown user when this platform was launched in the year 2014, and the welcome mail that was received by the unknown sender came from this email ID. However, this mistake was fixed later, but the unknown sender had saved this email and the same mail was shared with the DEA officer Robert Miller. But now the question was, who was the person who has shared this mail to the police? Whether it was a customer, it was a competitor, or a drug dealer. This was the time when the investigators had got the very first proof and the very important information that was required about the alphabet. This was a major breakthrough for the investigators. The investigators noticed that this email ID was used on various social media websites to sign up. On a French social media website, the same email ID was registered in the name of Alex. And on this account, the investigators found the photos of Alex which were clicked in 2008 and 2009. Investigators had a suspicion that these photos could be of Alpha Zero 02. There was a dating website which was also linked to his name in which he had mentioned his location as Trois Riviera, which is in Canada. As per his 2008 profile, he was 17 years old. He had mentioned 91 in his email address, which could be his birth year. Using the same email ID in 2008, he had posted a blog on a technology forum. In this blog, his username appeared as Alpha Zero 02 and his real name appeared as Alexander. Now that the investigators knew his name, it was time to find his location. He showed himself as a software designer on his LinkedIn profile, and the clues about his current location was found on his Facebook profile. Authorities found a profile of a girl on Facebook whose location was Thailand, and she was the fiancée of Alexandre. Now that the authorities knew about Alexandre's location, with this evidence, the American authorities moved to Bangkok and collaborated with the Thailand authorities and found out that Alexandre has bought a number of properties in Bangkok. This was not the right time to arrest him, but it was time to keep an eye on his activities. He had a villa in which he stayed with his wife. The second mansion of $3 million was located on the outskirts of Bangkok. This was the place where he used to host luxurious parties. He also owned a holiday home in Phuket. He also had a plan of buying a property in Cyprus. The agent started monitoring his every activity. He was traveling within the city in his Lamborghini without being aware of the fact that Thailand, Canada, and American investigators are keeping an eye on him. The king of dark web was a normal man in his personal life. He woke up early every day and spent most of his time at his home. In between all this, the authorities started making a plan to arrest him. But the problem was, if he was arrested in a normal way, there would be no evidence of his real identity that could be presented in the court. So the authorities wanted to catch hold of him red-handedly, especially at the time when he is working on his laptop. Alphabet was undoubtedly the largest marketplace on the dark web, but it had its own rival. There was a famous dark website in Europe named as Hansa, which was creating a lot of problems for the European authorities. At the time when the American investigators were strategizing a plan to get hold of Alexandria, there was a major breakthrough that was achieved by the European investigators at the same time. They were able to track down the server address of the Hansa market. They did not want to turn down the server of the Hansa market as they realized that it is of no use, as they knew that Hansa market will run its business on some another server. So they took a copy of the server data. After checking the admin chats, they were able to identify that the location of Hansa market is in Germany. The European authorities collaborated with German Federal Criminal Police to begin its search operations in finding the owner of Hansa market. Meanwhile, America's FBI informed the European authorities that they are going to shut down Alphabet. American, German, and European, along with the authorities of four other countries, decided to rename this operation as Operation Bayonet. The European authorities informed the American FBI not to arrest Alpha 02 until they gain control over the Hansa market. It was an intelligent decision made by the agencies. When the server of one dark website is turned down, the customers simply move on to another website to carry on their business. Since Hansa Market was the second biggest dark website, all the customers and dealers would move to Hansa Market if the Alpha Bay was turned down. By that time, Hansa Market would have been already in control of the European authorities. They would be able to catch hold of thousands of illegal dealers. This operation was a honey trap in many ways. Alexandre was not at all aware of the moves that were made by the investigation authorities. On 20th June 2017, the first part of the operation was successful. The police raided the data center of the Hansa market in Netherlands. At the same time, the German authorities arrested the owners of Hansa market in Siegen and Cologne. But this news was not published. Hansa market was now under the control of the European authorities and no one on the dark web was aware about it. On the other hand, in Bangkok city, the preparations of catching hold of Alexandria were in full fledged. The DEA, FBI, and Thai authorities wanted to catch hold of Alexandria red handedly, especially at the time when his laptop is unlocked. With that intention, they hired a lady officer and instructed to fake her accident at Alexandria's residence. As per the plan, she was supposed to gate crash into Alexandria's residence with a Toyota Camry. The motive was to create a panic that will lead Alexandria to rush towards the accident location. Fortunately, on that day, the things went as per the plan. It was during the early morning on 5th July 2017 when a Toyota Camry gate crashed into Alexandria's residence. That is when he left his laptop open and rushed towards the accident location. This is when he was arrested by the police officers. The police officers took custody of his laptop and found the control panel of Alphabet that was open. Alexandri was caught red-handed and the police officers took a backup of all his passwords. His luxurious cars, properties, and $1 billion worth cryptocurrencies were all seized by the police. Alexandri was about to die before appearing in the court hearings. It was just 1 week ever since Alexandri's arrest, and Alexandrius hanged himself in the police custody. Just a small mistake which was done by the king of dark web costed him his own life. On the other hand, when Alpha Bay was turned down, as expected, all the dealers moved to Hansa Market, which was under the custody of European authorities. Thousands of dealers were also arrested, and after a few weeks, Hansa Market was also shut down. On the same day, the US Justice Department held a press conference and announced the shutdown of both the dark websites. I hope you liked this video. If you liked the video, please make sure you like, subscribe, and tap the notification icon for more such videos. And thank you so much for watching this video.